us today as we do an update about some of our current patients we have in-house today. We're going to go around and do a little walk around so we can introduce you to some of our newer patients and reintroduce you to some of our patients that are still with us undergoing rehabilitation. So far, it's been a busy last couple of weeks here at the MSC. Some of you may have tuned in just the other day as we did an update on our washback sea turtles. And since that update, we've actually been able to coordinate with other rehab facilities to transport those washbacks down to South Florida to go back offshore into the Gulf Stream, where they will float on that sargassum seaweed for the first few years of their lives. So since that update, we've been able to go ahead and get over 100 washbacks out. So that's great news. But we still have lots of sea turtle patients here with us, so let's meet some of them. This is Rizzo. Rizzo is a juvenile green sea turtle that came to us November 12th, lethargic and with fecal infection. Doing really well, defecating regularly and eating for us now, which is great. And as you can see, not having any buoyancy issues right now. Some of that writing you may notice on Rizzo's back is her identification numbers. When we start getting turtles in daily or several a day, we want to be able to make sure that we're identifying them and being able to tell them all apart. So we give them an identification number, an ID. So the CM stands for Chelonia mitis, which is the scientific name for a green sea turtle. Then it says 20. That's the year 2020, and that turtle is the 138th sea turtle intake for the MSC in the year 2020. So you'll see some of these markings as we walk around our turtle hospital, and just so you have an idea of why we mark them that way. And that is a waterproof oil-based pen, so it's safe for their shells, and we can easily remove it. As we move along, I'm going to introduce you to Poppins, and something really special about Poppins is Poppins intake on November 11th, last week, marks our 25,000th turtle intake since opening here at the center in 2002. So we've had 25,000 sea turtle intakes, washbacks, hatchlings, gopher tortoises, box turtles, freshwater turtles since opening in 2002. So that's a really important milestone for us here and our efforts for turtle conservation and our education mission. Poppins came to us from up in St. Augustine and was caught up in some jetty rock and was found lethargic, but doing really well. And that's just a juvenile green sea turtle. And you might notice that we have them in some shallow pools right now. And eventually they'll graduate to deeper pools where they can get more exercise and dive deeper to find more food. But right now, while they're still lethargic and kind of in the beginning stages of rehabilitation, we want to keep them, in a little bit smaller, a little bit more shallow pools until we can upgrade them and let them spread their flippers. Next we have Quantum, which is a patient that we've had with us for a while that you might notice from past patient updates. Quantum is a large subadult loggerhead and may have just surpassed that adult size. We'll have to get an updated measurement. But it's a loggerhead that came to us last August, so it's been with us just over a year now, and has 2 front flipper injuries. And those front flipper injuries are pretty deep, and so we've been having to do a lot of wound care. And it's taken a really long time for those wounds to heal. But we're not giving up on Quantum, and we want to give her some more time and let those wounds heal, and we hope to be able to have her out, in a few months. Next, we have Macavity. Macavity is a subadult loggerhead, but a smaller subadult loggerhead than Quantum. So a younger turtle, but same species. And Macavity came in with an entanglement injury to both front flippers. Those entanglements cause constriction wounds around the base of the front flippers, and so they're really deep. And right now we're doing medical intervention using antibiotics. We're also doing wound care where we're able to, you can actually see it right in the base of that front flipper there, some deep wounds. We're using our therapeutic laser as well as topical ointments to help those wounds heal. He's been a little bit picky about his food, but we're trying some different things and left his calcium pill there. Oops, there it is. So we also give them oral supplements, including vitamins. So they get a variety, and sometimes if they're on oral medications, we want to make sure they're getting that. So if they've been completed with their injectable medications, we'll often upgrade to oral medications if they're doing well with eating. So I think Macavity's just a little picky and might only want mackerel, and is leaving those clams. So we'll just have to take a peek and see what Macavity's going to want to eat this afternoon. Teenagers. Next we have Queenie. Queenie is a juvenile green sea turtle with a beautiful carapace, which is the top shell. Came in on November 12th. Again, lethargic and from St. Johns County. But it's doing really well so far and staying down, and we're just monitoring her intake and output so we can make sure that we're eating well and defecating. And right now we don't have buoyancy issues, so that's a good sign. This is Othello, another juvenile green sea turtle that came to us on November 10th. We sometimes will divide the pools if we get a lot of patients in, and we make sure that we're putting like sea turtles. So we have 2 juvenile greens in this pool divided by a divider, and we'll watch them closely to make sure that they're all getting along even though they're not in the same pool. These guys are also on oral medications, so we want to make sure that they're separated so they're not getting each other's medication. Once we move along, I'll show you some pools where we have multiple turtles. This is Desdemona. Desdemona is a juvenile green sea turtle and is very anemic. So it also has 2 boat stripe injuries to that carapace, that top shell. They are healing well, and she's able to dive down and swim. We're just closely monitoring her blood values because we want to make sure that she's not going to drop that hematocrit, that past cell volume of red blood cells. So she is eating well now. For a while she was not wanting to eat, so it made it a little difficult. But she's continuing to improve. So we're optimistic. And this is Jet. Jet is a larger juvenile green sea turtle. She came in with buoyancy issues, but has since resolved. Jet's doing great eating and has since recently upgraded to this deeper, larger pool. So far for the year, we've had 139 sea turtle intakes. Last year was our 2nd highest intake year since opening in 2002, and that was 124. So we've well surpassed that number, and we're interested to see what we're going to end up with by the end of the year. Yes, the turtles also had their own thoughts about the year 2020. This is Nightman and Knickerbocker, who are both juvenile green sea turtles. And the next pool in the back, we have Lafayette and Higgins. Lafayette was the juvenile green sea turtle that came in on October 29th with buoyancy issues, so unable to submerge. And sometimes that happens from GI issues where they're getting buoyancy, they've got gas in their GI. You can also see Lafayette is missing a partial left front flipper. Came in that way, already healed. So that's an injury that occurred out in the wild. And this is Higgins. Higgins stranded on October 12th. And Higgins is having some issues with the GI. So Higgins is having a hard time defecating and have a lot of fecal impaction. So we are doing some enemas every few days and trying to change up his medication regimen to help things move through easier. But seemingly improving, and he is also anemic, so he's got that same issue that Desdemona has. But we're watching him closely, and that is holding steady, but it's not going down right now. As we get to our deeper pool, we've got several turtles all together. We have Burr and Vanna, and who else? We have Yankee in here. And Fantine. So we have 4 juvenile green sea turtles, 3 of which have been cleared for release, and we'll be coordinating that soon. So tune in if we are able to get that posted on video. And we'll share those videos with you. Some of them have been here with us since August, and some as long as since October. So a bit of a variety, but they're all doing really well and have been medically cleared. And then we've got 2 patients over here. This is Skimblefink for any cat lovers from the Broadway show. We have a lot of names from cats right now. But Skimblefink is our newest patient, number 139, and he has buoyancy issues and also some of that impaction in the GI. His heart rate has also been a bit low every day since he's arrived, so we are monitoring that, and that's also why we have him in this shallow baby pool. We don't want him to exert too much energy and be able to come up and take those breaths without strain. And let's see, in the corner there, or in the back swimming, yeah, there we go, is Walnut. And you might notice on the back end of Walnut's carapace or shell, there is a Velcro and epoxy Velcro patch with some links on the back. There it is. Just popped up, and you can see Walnut's got some buoyancy issues. Walnut actually is one of our previous patients. It doesn't happen all that often, but this patient, when it restranded in Ponce Inlet, we noticed that there was a flipper tag. And so we looked up the flipper and pin tag number and noticed that this was one of our past patients who was still having some buoyancy issues out there. So we're doing some different things and giving him some different opportunities for exercise and to regulate that buoyancy, and seeing if he's a candidate for re-release. But Walnut originally stranded in 2018 and was released in 2019. And back for more. You can see Walnut also had previous boat strike injury, which is what has contributed to the buoyancy issues. That wound has since healed, but we're still having some of those buoyancy issues. So hoping the weights, with some weight management here, he's gonna eat. I think he's got some veggies, he's looking for veggies. So we're hoping some of that buoyancy regulates and he's able to stay down and dive down on his own after a while. For joining us today for our patient update. We We hope you had a good time and learned about our new patients that we have in-house, and we look forward to having you all back once we're back open. But for now, keep tuning in for our patient updates and releases and other educational videos. Thanks, and have a great day.